Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Once again, coming at you with another lesson. And Lord's will be edifying to the Lord's elect. This lesson I want to entitle Doomsday Clock, Countdown to the Destruction of Babylon the Great. And Babylon the Great is another name for America, which is listed in the book of Revelation as Babylon the Great. It's also listed as that great city. It's also the virgin daughter of Babylon. There's many different names or titles for America that's listed in the scriptures. Now, one of the things I want to get into in this lesson is how the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, has already spoken about the destruction of Babylon the Great. It's going to come in the form of thermonuclear destruction and also the laser beams of fire that the Lord is going to be shooting from that huge chariot that he's coming back on, which people ignorantly call a UFO. The Lord's coming back on a huge chariot. So it's nothing but fire and brimstone coming to Babylon the Great. Now, if you didn't know, they just came out with the Doomsday Clock set at 85 seconds to midnight, which is the closest it has ever been set since they started this thing back in the 1940s. And I want to get into that. Anyway, they get into talking about how climate change and AI and different viruses and stuff, how that affects this clock along with the threat of nuclear destruction. It's basically a group of scientists that get together that determine what time this doomsday clock should be set at. Now, I was thinking it was going to be set at a lot lower, but hey, maybe they being hopeful, because that's all you hear when you hear these scientists speaking. They're talking about all of the potentials, and then they're also talking about how, man got the power to walk this thing back. Man got the power to move that clock, that clock hand back. It don't have to keep getting closer and closer to midnight. But according to the prophecies and according to the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Babylon the Great, aka America, is about to be met with nuclear destruction. And we're getting closer and closer and closer. Nuclear war is coming. World War III is biblical prophecy. And it's nothing no one can do to stop it. It's way above any man on this earth, any man or woman. It don't matter what you know. It don't matter your doctor's degrees or your PhDs or whatever kind of background education you have is nothing compared to the word of the Lord. If you don't understand the prophecies of the Lord, you're nowhere, because all of your degrees and all your knowledge and all your reading and studies is not going to save you. There's nothing wrong with having an education. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the prophecies is where it's at. Understanding the word of the Lord. Because, hey, we living in those times. We're living in some very, very serious times. And this clock, this doomsday clock, is just an indicator of the times that we're living in. Now, as prophets, we're watching everything that's happening in the world, and we're lining it up with biblical prophecy. And from what we can see happening in the world, we're very, very close to the end of this place. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. And as a matter of fact, the scriptures talk about how when the fire go out on Babylon the Great, because it's going to be completely consumed with fire, it's referred to as the lake of fire in the book of Revelation. When the fire goes out, after a long time of burning, it's going to be one big, huge desert. Scriptures say only desert creatures is going to dwell in Babylon the Great, and that no man will ever dwell in this land ever again. This place is about to be a testament of what it meant to be wicked. Because these devils, this whole country was established in bloodshed and destruction. See, our peoples were already over here. Gad, Reuben, Issachar, they already over here. And these devils came over here, slaughtered our people, and took this land. Broken many, over 300 treaties. See? So these devils is about to be judged. Babylon the Great is about to be judged for all the evils, all the wickedness this place has done over the years and even to this day. So I'm going to get into the history of this doomsday clock, and then I'm going to play a little bit, about 3 minutes of this video clip, and then I want to get into some scriptures, get into some prophecies. Now, this is from historyhit.com. It says, what is the doomsday clock? A timeline of catastrophic threat. I'm going to read a little bit of it. It says, the doomsday clock is a symbolic clock used by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists to indicate how close humanity is to global catastrophe. The nearer the clock is to midnight, the closer we are to destruction. So as prophets, understanding that these things have to happen, World War III has to happen, thermonuclear destruction has to happen in order for us to get to the kingdom, in which the kingdom of heaven is going to be set up right here on the earth. After the destruction, every place that got destroyed and burnt up is going to be renewed. The only place that's not going to be renewed is Babylon the Great. See, this place, this landmass is going to stay like it is. It's going to be one big desert. Like I just said, the scriptures say no man is ever going to dwell in this land again. It says the clock was devised in 1947 with an initial time of 23 and 53. It says, in an effort to convey the urgency of the issue, it says, an instantly familiar format and frighten men into rationality. So this clock was set up basically to say, hey, look, you see this clock? If the world keeps going, if man keeps going in the way that it's going, we're going to have nuclear destruction, meaning it's going to be over. And so it's supposed to be like a warning to show people, hey, we got to do something. We got to make a change. But hey, the timing of Babylon the Great was set up by the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. From the time that it was set up to the time it's getting ready to be thrown down was already spoken by the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So hey, we just living this thing out. This place is already done. It's already done. It just hasn't happened yet. And we're very, very close. It says, according to the Bulletin's first editor, it says, you won't be surprised to learn that the doomsday clock timeline below, that the clock has crept considerably closer to midnight since 1947. And it all makes sense because every day that go by, we're moving closer and closer to World War III going nuclear. World War III is already started, but it's going to go nuclear to where these countries are going to press them buttons and them missiles are going to be launched. Now, right now, you got all of these countries, China, you name it, they're still building. Russia, they're still building weapons. They're still building nuclear missiles as we speak. That's because, hey, this is the will of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says, I'm going to read that again. It says, you won't be surprised to learn that the doomsday clock timeline below, that the clock has crept considerably closer to midnight since 1947. It says, since then, it has been set and reset 22 times, with a recent adjustment occurring in January 2020. So now we're in 2026. So it's been adjusted. You can add 6 more times, 28 times. Okay, since 1947. It says, in response to concerns about nuclear weapons and climate change, the clock was set to 100 seconds to midnight, the closest it has ever been to doomsday, and that was back in 2020. Since then, I believe Last year was 89 seconds, and the year before that was 90 and 90. So it's been very, very close. But now we're at 85 seconds. See, this thing is set for 2026, which could be the year that World War III goes nuclear. This could be their year. This thing is set at 85 seconds to midnight, the closest it has ever been. Of course, that doesn't determine what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. But hey, it's just a sign. It's just another one of those signs of the times that we're living in and how close we are to the end of this place. Now, from there, I want to get some of this video. I'm going to play about 3 or 4 minutes of this video clip, and then I want to get some scriptures.
AI and bio are not necessarily things that if they came together, they would be horrible and terrible and negative. We can use AI to help us respond better, be more efficient, have a better idea of what do we have. We've seen cuts, massive cuts by this administration to preparedness activities. But what that's done then is that it has reduced our overall preparedness. We are not going to be able to be as effective and as efficient in responding as a result. It's not a reasonable situation to be in because we have not eliminated disease, we have not eliminated accidents, we haven't eliminated all these things that we need to respond to. We're all interdependent now in this world. If we don't.
Let me say this. If you didn't know, we're living in a very wicked, wicked world ruled by Edomites, which the scripture referred to as the wicked. So the wicked is ruling right now. So the whole world is right now being ran in wickedness. So when they talk about climate change and AI and viruses and all of these things, these are not good things. These are all bad things. Why? Because we're living in a wicked world. We're looking forward to the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be set up right here on the earth, where it's going to be ruled in righteousness under the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and the Israelites. See, starting with the elect. So this is what we're looking forward to. So when we see these things in the news, talking about doomsday clocks and climate change and AI and all of these different things that they talk about, viruses, and these are plagues. These are indicators that, hey, the Lord is about to bring this place to an end. And of course, the scriptures talk about nuclear destruction all throughout the Bible. The prophets talked about the destruction of Babylon the Great, and that these missiles are going to be launched. Other places are going to get hit too. But like I said, Babylon the Great is the only place that's never going to be inhabited again, along with the chariots shooting concentrated laser beams of fire. This is also prophecy. So these are the things that are about to happen, and this is what we see coming.
Don't have good public health in one country, it affects the next country, the ones surrounding, but also the countries elsewhere that were dependent on the first country for funding, for human resources, for expertise, and so forth. This is a global issue.
So overall, 2025 has been a pretty bleak picture in terms of advancing existential risks. I would say the one silver lining is I think people are starting to re-engage every time we've been able to reduce threats, existential threats to humanity. It's because of the public pressure that was created on policymakers, on local elected leaders, on the world in general to say, we do not accept this.
Let me say this. As we always say, this is the Lord's movie. He is the writer. He is the director. Everything that's happening is the will of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It just, these people, they just don't know it. They thinking, like I said, with their education and it, whether it's engineering, mathematics, or whatever background they have, they utilize it. They come together, utilize it to come up with this time for this clock. But all of this that they're doing has nothing to do, is not going to stop or change the prophecies. See, the prophecies are going to go forth. And that includes World War III, with this place ending off with nuclear destruction and the lasers coming off the chariots when our Lord and Savior Yahushua comes back. This is prophecy. It's inevitable that this place be hit with thermonuclear destruction. So it don't matter, like I say, education, all of these different quote unquote smart people coming together and talking about there's hope and that we can do things, we can change, we can reverse the clock, we can do this, and we can they're talking all kind of things. We can change the climate, we can start talking about peace talks, we can do this and we can do that. None of that's gonna work. Nothing, no man on this earth, no man or woman has power on this earth to stop the prophecies of the Lord. See, these things have to happen. How else will we get to the kingdom? The destruction of Babylon has to happen first. And then, as Israelites, starting with the elect, we'll be able to be in the kingdom of heaven.
Average citizen can do more than just vote. They can actually be informed about the threats that they face and talk with their neighbors, their relatives, their friends in their communities about these risks. And just showing up at a political meeting of a senator or congressman can actually drive policy. If they recognize that there's a political interest in their districts, that drives action.
You have to empower the people to say, yes, this is a challenging opportunity, and this is what, by working together, we can do something.
And just imagine what would happen if the whole world, all of our citizens, all throughout the world, were actually to take up the issue of turning back the clock. What would happen? I can't imagine a situation in which that enormous group of people would somehow be ineffectual.
The Doomsday Clock is really a metaphor for the amount of danger that we're in. It's pointing to the urgency of the threats all around us, but it's also a call to action. I actually see it as a positive symbol insofar as we have time left to fix the problems that we ourselves have created by working together, by creating the necessary political will and the scientific analysis that will help us save ourselves.
Stop right there. Shit, forget about it. Look at that look on her face. Forget about it. You're not finna put your brains or your minds together and come up with a way to make this, make the threat of nuclear destruction go away. You're talking about the word of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, and in which his word never comes back void. Once he speaks a thing, it happens. So World War III is prophecy. The destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America, is prophecy. And as the President Theodore Roosevelt quoted, he said, a thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education. You see? So even he understood that the Bible is where it's at. This book, the Bible, is the most powerful book in the world. And you talking about the word of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. It's way over what man can think or say. This is out of our hands. We are here as the prophets to speak the words and speak the prophecies of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem El Shai. We're telling you the things that are about to happen before they happen. We're telling you Jacob's trouble is already here, but it's going to go real hot. It's going to get real dangerous, and it's going to be a lot of people being destroyed out here, along with World War III. World War III is prophecy. You can't stop the prophecies of the Lord. And with that facial, that expression on her face is just an indication of where we at. Right now, we're living in Esau's heaven. This is his heaven. But hey, this place is getting ready to it's about to be over. See, they got a bounds. The Lord set a bounds that they cannot pass. Babylon the Great will not go 1 day, 1 hour, 1 second past what the Most High has already set for the destruction. That's it.
For lack of a better term, from ourselves. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alexandra Bell, and I am the President and CEO of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. It is the determination of the Bulletin's Science and Security Board that humanity has not made sufficient progress on the existential risks that endanger us all. We thus move the clock forward. The Doomsday Clock is a tool for communicating how close we are to destroying the world with technologies of our own making. The risks we face from nuclear weapons, climate change, and disruptive technologies are all growing. Every second counts, and we are running out of time. It is a hard truth, but this is our reality. It is now 85 seconds to midnight. This is the closest the world has ever been to midnight.
Bam. There it is. So that's all we need to see there. Let's get into some scripture. She talked about how, it's our own doing, and we made these. So in other words, we made these weapons. We've done all of these different things to put us in a situation to where we're now 85 seconds to midnight, meaning 85 seconds to destruction. Not understanding that the Lord set up this whole thing, everything that's happening, everything that Esau has done in this world, spread wickedness all over the place. The Lord already know. He already knew. Nothing catches the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua by surprise. Everything is happening according to the will of the Lord. And that's what we're here to tell you. Man ain't going to be able to stop nothing. It's out of man's hand to stop the will of the Lord, to stop the prophecies of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So, hey, climate change, AI, viruses, or whatever, major plagues, floods, and all of these different things that are happening on the earth, that's all the prophecies of the Lord. The Lord said all of these different things will be happening, earthquakes in diverse places. This is all prophecy playing out on the earth as we speak. And nuclear missiles, man, that's the finishing touches. The Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is about to have these countries shoot nukes, and most of them gonna hit right over here in Babylon the Great, aka America. The only way to survive or escape the judgment of Babylon the Great is to be beamed up, is to go up. And only the elect of Israel, is going to get beamed up out of Babylon the Great and other places scattered all over the world. The elect are about to be delivered. That's what's happening. The destruction is coming, and the elect is about to be delivered by the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Now from there, let's start out here in the book of Jeremiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and 8. Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And the prophets are back. The prophets are back. It's called reincarnation. The Lord said, hey, in the last days, the prophets will be back. We're prophesying about the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America. This place is through. This place is circling the drain. And hey, we're here to prophesy and tell you that this place is through. And we're back doing it once again. We're prophesying against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's the way it's always been from the beginning. The Lord always sends out the prophets to speak the prophecies. And then once he's done speaking, you're not going to see us out there on the highways and byways. We're not going to be putting up lessons. The Lord finna unleash full destruction. See, we're here to just put out the warning, to tell the people, once we're done, that's the Lord saying that's it. He's done speaking. He's done prophesying. He's done warning the people. He's done telling Jake to return to the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's it. The Lord going to bring the destruction. And it's going to be too late for a lot of people. Specifically, you 2/3 Jakes. Now from there, let's get this in Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Because the Bible is the most powerful book ever in existence. Isaiah 34 and 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord Yahweh and read. None of these shall fail, meaning none of these prophecies are going to fail. None shall want her mate, meaning you cannot make this book up with any other book. It's a one of a kind. It says, for my mouth hath commanded, and his spirit hath gathered them. So this Bible is a very, very powerful book. The most powerful book from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Everything that the Lord has spoken has happened, is happening, and will happen. And no one can change the prophecies of the Lord. Now from there, let's get to some Matthew to back this up. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 18. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 18, it says, verily, meaning truly, I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. And this is from Yahweh Shai. Every single prophecy is going to come to pass. It don't matter what nobody is saying, whether you hear or forbear, whether you believe in the words that we're speaking from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, or whether you don't. It's still going to happen. If you don't believe, you just don't believe. But you're not going to stop these prophecies. The prophecies are still going forward. Every day, every minute, every second that go by, we're getting closer and closer to the destruction of Babylon the Great, and we're getting closer and closer to the kingdom of heaven. Now from there, let's get this. In the book of Ecclesiastes, this is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So, the Lord, he wrote this thing. He called the end of this thing from the beginning. And there's a season to everything under the sun. Everything that happens is because of the Lord, the will of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And there's a season. As a matter of fact, let's get this. Let's skip down to verse 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 7, it says, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. And that's where we're at right now with the ministry of the prophets. This is a time to speak. But hey, we're nearing the end. It's finna be the famine of the word. When the famine of the word hit, we're not going to be speaking. We're not going to be doing lessons. We're not going to be out there on the highways and byways. And people are going to be looking for us, but we're not going to be there because the Lord finna shut down the ministry of the prophets. We're not going to be out there when the destruction and the chaos is going on out there during Jacob's trouble. Verse 8, it says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war, see, and a time of peace. And we're definitely not in a time of peace. We're living in a time of war. And we're coming into that last war, World War III, the war to end all wars. That's what's coming. And people got that look on their face. Hey, they sense it. They know this place is through. They know this place is very, very close to destruction. People can sense it. Whether they can understand it, whether they can believe it, that doesn't matter. We in that time. We in that time of war, and it's going to end off with the war to end all wars, World War III. And Yahweh Shai on a chariot with the host of angels, shooting concentrated laser beams of fire on this place. See, during the time of Noah, that's what the scriptures call the first death, because the Lord used water and he flooded the whole earth, destroyed everybody on it, saved Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, and the animals that were on that ark. Everything else was destroyed. And now we're coming into what the scriptures call the second death. The second death is going to be fire, thermonuclear destruction. Fire and brimstone is finna hit this earth, and the destruction is going to be so great. This place is going to be rocking to and fro like a drunkard. That's how much anger and that's how much devastation is getting ready to hit this place from the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Now from there, let's get this, because them scientists look like I don't even understand why they even created these things in the beginning. They thinking logically, right? Their logic tells them, why would you create something that could potentially destroy all of us? Well, let's get this, because they don't understand the prophecies of the Lord. Yeah, they had their education, but it's not going to get them an understanding of the scriptures. This is the highest education you could go. This is the highest level right here, understanding these prophecies. This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, behold, I created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire. Hey, in the modern day, smith is a scientist. The ancient times, smiths was the ones that were making the different swords, different tools. They would basically heat up the metals and make different types of weapons and tools. That was the ancient time smith. But now, the modern day smith is the scientists, the ones that the Lord used, them German scientists, to create them nuclear missiles. No, they didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm gonna split atoms. I'm gonna create a weapon of mass destruction. No, the Lord put it in their heads to create these things, because it says here that bringeth forth an instrument of his work, I have created the waster to destroy. So the Lord set them devils up, them German scientists, to create these nuclear missiles, because the Lord ultimately calls them his armoury. He calls them the weapons of his indignation. So these missiles were created for a purpose. He knew that this place was going to reach an all-time high of wickedness, and that he was going to cleanse this place from all the wickedness that has happened. He's going to cleanse this place with fire and nuclear fire. That's what's coming. So no, make no mistake about it. The Lord didn't make a mistake in having people, giving people the understanding they create these nuclear missiles. This is all by the will of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Now from there, let's get this in Isaiah, because, hey, we just living out what the Lord has already spoken. See? We are the creature. We are the creation of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 46 and 9, it says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. And this is the Most High speaking through Isaiah. It says, verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning. So this is the power. This is the power that created everything. He's already declared the end of this thing from the beginning. Now that's power. See? It says from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. See? He already knows everything gonna happen that he already spoke from the beginning, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. This has nothing to do with man. This is way over the head of man. See, this is the counsel of the Lord. Everything that has ever happened on this earth, everything happening now and everything that's going to happen, it's already spoken. It's the will of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Now from there, let's get this in Isaiah to back this up. This is Isaiah 55 and 11. Isaiah 55 and 11, it says, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And that's the bottom line. When the Lord speaks, it happens. And it's no one, nobody, no thing that can stop the prophecies or the word of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. His word will never come back void. When he speaks, it happens. So when we speak these prophecies, we speak with 1,000% surety. We know that everything that we're saying is going to happen because it is the prophecies and the will of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Now from there, let's get this in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? And the hammer is talking about America, Babylon the Great. This nation, they go everywhere. They in all nations and countries dabbling in everything. Bombing places, shooting missiles on them, taking over places. This is what this place has done since its inception. So how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon become the desolation among the nations? And this is not talking about Babylon, ancient Babylon. This is talking about Babylon the Great. Modern day Babylon is America, aka Babylon the Great, or that great city, or a virgin daughter of Babylon. It says, verse 24, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So everything that they've done against the Lord and his people, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that are scattered all over the world and right here in Babylon the Great, no matter how you looking, no matter what nation you looking like, it all is determined on what spirit is in you, if you're an Israelite or not. And the Israelites were everywhere. And because they have striven against the Lord is going to bring judgment on this place. Verse 25, it says, the Lord Yahweh has opened his armoury. What do you think he's talking about? And have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, his righteous anger. We're talking about thermonuclear destruction. And they're still building them to this day. They keep building them and building them and building them. All these countries are stockpiling and getting ready. This is the will of the Lord. They think they're doing them because it's what they're thinking. But no, they're doing it because the Lord is controlling the minds of these kings and leaders around the world. He's got all of these countries getting ready for World War III. See? Because it is the prophecy of the Lord. It says, for this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. Yahweh power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So the Lord, this has always been the will of the Lord, for these devils to be put into power for a short period of time, to wreak havoc on this place and to his people, the Israelites, for a short period of time. But hey, we at the end of that time, and the Lord finna bring out his armoury, the weapons of his indignation, thermonuclear destruction. And this is talked about by all throughout the scriptures. It's the book of Job, Jeremiah, Daniel, Isaiah, Joel, Zechariah, 2 Peter 3, Revelation, 2nd address. This is all throughout the scriptures. This is the prophecy of the Lord, is that these missiles are going to hit most of them right here in Babylon the Great, and it's going to be completely consumed with fire. It's going to be a lake of fire. It's going to look like a lake of fire from an aerial view. That's where it says that in the book of Revelation. It's going to be fire and brimstone throughout Babylon the Great, from the east coast to the west. This whole land is going to be consumed with fire, coming real soon. And the destruction is going to be great. This earth is going to be loud, so loud. You talking about nuclear missiles, and an innumerable amount of nuclear missiles is going to be blowing up on this place. It's going to be laser beams, concentrated laser beams of fire being shot out the chariots. We're talking about total fire destruction is coming, which is the second death. The only way to escape is that you're of the elect and you get beamed up out of here on one of them chariots. See, that's the only way out. Everything else is finna be hit, destroyed. See? And anything that's left, we're going to come down off them chariots, and we're going to purge out the rebels and these devils, and they're going to get rounded up. This is all prophecy. This is the prophecy of the Lord going forth. So every day that go by, we're getting closer to the kingdom. And Esau, he's getting closer to the end of his world. And these devils can see it. You can see it on their faces. This place is through. Now from there, let's get this in Revelation, get ready to close out. Let's get a little bit of Revelation 18. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18. I'm going to start at verse 7. Isaiah chapter 18 and verse 7. This is talking about Babylon the Great, aka America. It says, the whole chapter, it says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. Hey, because of they financial system. They've been prospering. They've been the richest country on this earth, making all types of money. It says, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she has said in her heart, I said a queen. Hey, and this place is called the Great Whore. And that's talking about all the different nations that are hooked up with this place and they're taking on the philosophies and policies of this place. They all have gotten rich off of Babylon the Great. See? Babylon the Great, aka America, the biggest consumer nation ever. It says, I am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's what they think. They think they're not going to see no sorrow. They think that, as the scriptures say, their houses are going to continue forever. People want to think this place is going to continue on forever. The Lord never intended this wicked world to continue forever. That's why he has a cutoff time, and we very, very close to that time. As a matter of fact, the scriptures say, no man know the day or the hour that the Lord going to put an end to this place and send Yahweh Shai. See? But only Yahweh knows that day he's going to send Yahweh Shai back here. And Yahweh Shai going to come back and he's going to put all these nations under his feet. He's going to have many crowns on his head representing all of these different nations and armies that he's about to take down and take over. See? He already getting his praise and glory in the heavens. So he's getting ready to take it down here on this earth. See? This earth belongs to the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And he's coming back. He's coming back. And Lord's will of that number to be delivered and to escape the destruction, that fire and brimstone that's finna hit this place. It says verse 8 again, therefore her plagues, meaning them thermonuclear missiles, her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. You can't put it no plainer than that. Babylon the Great is going to be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judges her. And Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to send Yahweh Shai back here and he's going to judge this place. And let's just say that the judgment is going to be devastating. It's going to be destructive on a whole nother level. The Lord is coming back angry. He's coming back with great wrath. And he's going to shell out his fury on this earth, and everybody going to know it. The scriptures say even the, it's roughly paraphrasing, even the elect were frightened. Even the remnant, that is, were frightened. It don't matter who you are. When Yahweh shall come back, he's going to shake up the whole world. Verse 9, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Talking about these other heathen nations, they all have gotten rich off of Babylon the Great. They all have taken the policies and the philosophies of Babylon the Great, and they all have gotten rich together off this place. See, it says, shall bewail her and lament for her, and they're gonna be sad, man. They're gonna be they're gonna be sorry. They're gonna be crying. They're gonna be sad because as this place is burning up, all of their prophets and all of their positions and power that they had on the earth is going up with it. It's going to be burnt up right along with it. It says, and when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So this is coming. This is going to happen. And you can't change the word of the Lord. All prophecy. All prophecy. So when we see the doomsday clock coming out, talking about 85 seconds to midnight, it's not like we don't know what time we're living in. We already know we're close. But this another sign that the Lord is getting ready to come back. Verse 10, it says, standing afar off for fear of her torment. And they're going to be able to see Babylon the Great. Them satellites going to be up there. They're going to see it. They're going to see Babylon the Great burning. It's saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, aka America, that mighty city, For in 1 hour, that judgment is come. And this is definitely talking about America. For anybody out there who want to think that Revelation 18 is talking about something else, you lost. You just lost. You don't know what's going on. See, this place has been so wicked. Judgment is coming. You see? It says, for in 1 hour thy judgment is come. So the Lord going to take 1 hour to bring this place crashing down. They've been building this place up for hundreds of years, but the Lord going to bring it all crashing down in 1 hour. Now from there, let's close out here because, hey, the destruction has to happen. It's the only way we're going to get to the kingdom. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, in verse 27 to close it out. It says in the kingdom, because, hey, as Israelites, as the hopeful elect, we're looking forward to the kingdom. We're done with this wicked world. We understand that there's a time limit on this place. It's wicked and it's getting ready to come to an end. We know everything we see is temporal. We don't put no stock into anything we got. We know all this getting ready to be burnt up down here. Well, these stupid jakes, these wicked jakes out here, the only thing they can think about is making money and building up and trying to make it here and set up quote unquote legacy. None of that's going to happen. We at the end of this thing. It says, in the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, talking about the kingdom of heaven on the earth, shall be given to the people of the saints. And the saints is talking about the Israelites. Pursuant to Psalms 148, the Israelites are the saints. You cannot be a saint unless you're an Israelite. Starting with the elect is going to be translated right into the kingdom of heaven. See? It shall be given to the people of the saints, the Israelites, starting with the elect and the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. See, Esau is always given rulership or dominion of this earth for a short period of time. He was given a short period of time to rule in wickedness, and we can already see he's an unfit ruler. Look at what he's done to this place. Got oil all over the place, trash and plastic, poison in the air, poison in the water, poison in the land. Everything is suffering under this devil's rule. The people are mourning. Animals, insects, everything is suffering because you got a wicked ruler. So we're looking forward to the kingdom of heaven. After the destruction, this whole earth is going to be beautified. It's going to be more beautiful, and it's going to be more great than it's ever been. The only place that's not going to be inhabited on this earth is Babylon the Great, aka America. It's going to be a testament of what it meant to be wicked. See? It says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. All of these kingdoms, all of these heathens, that is, Esau and all these different wicked nations, they're going to be under the Israelites in the kingdom. They're going to serve and obey us. As the prophecy says, as thus saith the Lord. And they're not going to be able to do anything to change it. Nobody is. This is way above all of us. See? We built up this place, his own people. We built up this wicked world. We built up Babylon the Great and other places around the world. So what do you think he's going to do to the people that touch the apple of his eye? The apple of his eye, meaning the Israelites. So this is what's coming. This is what's coming. We're going to be set up as kings and priests in the kingdom, and we're going to rule forever. We're going to have an everlasting kingdom, and we're a royal, great people. And that's why we're looking forward to Babylon, the great destruction. And with that, I hope that you were edified by this lesson. This has been Doomsday Clock, countdown to the destruction of Babylon the Great. I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.